everybody, Cinema Sickness here with today's Cinema Sickness review, and today we're going to take a look at Zeus and Roxanne. So going into this film, I was pretty much expecting the worst. I've seen at least a dozen reviews on this film, all completely tearing it apart. But I gotta say, in the end, I was slightly pleasantly surprised in the fact that this wasn't absolutely horrible, not nearly as bad as I was expecting. Would I call the movie good? Certainly not. But would I say it's the worst film I've ever seen or absolute garbage? No, I wouldn't say that either. It's just extremely mediocre in every single way. The acting, the story, everything. At the end of this movie, you just kind of go, huh, okay, I saw that. You don't want to see it again. There's nothing going on in that film that really gets you into it. I mean, yeah, we have a protagonist trying to steal a dolphin and a dog, but you just don't really care in the end. We have Kathleen Quinlan and Steve Guttenberg. They're our main love interest in the story. Steve Guttenberg, his wife is dead. He has a son. And Kathleen Quinlan, I honestly don't remember what happened to... she has two daughters. I don't remember what happened to the father figure. I can't remember if they split up, divorced, he's dead. I honestly don't remember what happened there. If they tell you, I just completely forgot. But the kids realize that they like each other. They're definitely digging on each other. So the whole story, the whole movie, they're trying to get Kathleen Quinlan and Steve Guttenberg together. They realize they should be together, and they're trying to do it, but things keep going awry. And then we have another story going on the whole time between a dolphin and a dog. Now, a lot of people talk about this when they review this movie, and they say it's goofy because it's a dog-dolphin love relationship, and I disagree. I don't think the dog and the dolphin are in love with each other. I don't think they're about to make dolphin puppies. You know, I don't think they want to go get married and bang. I don't think that's what's going on here. I think they're just interested in each other, and maybe they become friends and they care about each other at the most. It's a dog and a dolphin. I just think they just think they're interesting and they're interested in each other, and that's about it. But even if you want to look into it as they love each other, fine. But I think as friends, not as an actual couple. So for people to talk about that and say, it's so weird that this dolphin and this dog look like they want to bang, you could take it that way, but I didn't see it like that. I just assumed they were just really good friends, and in the end, really cared for each other. So we had that story going on. And as that movie story is going on, there's a lot of different things going on in this film. We have our main protagonist who, like I said, wants to steal the dolphin and the dog because Kathleen Quinlan is, she wants a grant for research on this one dolphin, Roxanne, and she realizes that Zeus and Roxanne can communicate with each other, that they like each other, they can communicate, and she's going to do her research on that and get the grant. Well, the main protagonist wants to steal the dog and the dolphin, and he wants to get the grant because he's evil and wants to just capture dolphins and do these horrible experiments on them. So we have that plot going on as well. There's just, at least three main plots going on in this movie, and in the end, you just don't really care much about any of them. That is the main problem with this movie, is that there's just nothing going on that you really care about. I mean, there's some things that maybe had they explained it better or put more energy into the story you might have cared about, but in the end, too much going on, and you just kind of go, I don't really care. Would I say the movie was entertaining? Not necessarily, but at least it kept my interest. I'll give it that. I wasn't bored. I wasn't playing on my phone. I at least sat down and watched the whole thing. Now, when I mentioned on Facebook and Instagram and my website and everything that I was watching this film, I got a lot of people liking the fact that I was watching it. More so than a lot of other movies I watched, which leads me to believe that this movie is probably very nostalgic for some people. I have a feeling that a lot of people probably dig this movie from, this is like, I think, 1997, so people who were, younger at that time probably watched this movie and probably enjoyed it. Me, I was a bit too old during 1997 to be into a movie like this. So for me, it's not nostalgic. I'm going into it fresh as an adult. And I have nothing wrong with kid movies. I love family-friendly kid movies. I have a ton of my collection. I absolutely love them. But the ones I really like at least have some substance to them, and they're enjoyable, and I like watching them. Whereas this movie, like I said, just, even though they had a bunch of things going on, you just kind of didn't care. You didn't care about any of the characters. You didn't care about what any of them were doing. It just was a movie you just didn't care about. But if you do grow up with it and it was nostalgic for you, I could kind of see it, because as I said, even though the movie wasn't great, it wasn't horrible either. I thought it was just very mediocre, but in the end, it was just okay. So for somebody who grew up with it, I can understand why you would enjoy the movie, but if you're going to go into it for the first time, expect mediocreness all around. Don't go in this movie expecting anything great. Don't even expect a decent family-friendly movie. No, you're not really getting that. You're just getting a very, very mediocre family-friendly movie. The main reason I wanted to watch this tonight was because Steve Guttenberg's in it. And I'm a huge, huge Steve Guttenberg fan. I wish we would see him in every movie. Just a big fan of his. So with him being in this movie, I definitely wanted to check it out because I wanted to see some Goot. He did an okay job in it. He played his normal Steve Guttenberg self, riding around on a motorcycle. He writes music, wearing the tight black jeans and the boots all the time. Plenty of scenes where he's wearing a white beater with his muscles showing. Your typical kind of cheeseball Steve Guttenberg self, but I loved it. So Steve Guttenberg in the movie, he was great. If you're a Steve Guttenberg fan, maybe you want to check it out just for him alone. Even though I said that the acting was mediocre, it's Steve Guttenberg. I love Steve Guttenberg, but he's not exactly, the best actor in the world. He does tend to ham it up a bit, and yeah, he can be mediocre in his acting, but still absolutely love Steve Guttenberg. So that'd be the one reason why I'd recommend the movie. If you're a big Steve Guttenberg fan, sure, check it out. Get your Goot fix in. But otherwise, I'd have to say stay away. I really wouldn't recommend it. There's a ton of other family-friendly movies out there that I would recommend before this one. It just was not very memorable. It left me just with a sort of feeling at the end. I didn't really care about any of the characters. Didn't really care what any of them are doing. I didn't even really care about the dog and the dolphin, and I'm a huge, huge fan of animals. Love seeing animals in movies. I just didn't really care about them, and that is not the way I should go out of a movie. I shouldn't end a movie not really caring that I just saw it and not really caring about anything that just happened. So, yeah, not recommending it, but if you really want to check it out, I guess if you really, really want to see it, I would say sure, why not, because it wasn't absolutely horrible. Like I said, extremely mediocre, but not the worst movie I've ever seen, not by far. So if you really want to see it, sure, check it out. Why not? Or if you're just a huge Guttenberg fan, yeah, sure, see it. But otherwise, just stay away. So like I said, Zeus and Roxanne, just extremely mediocre. Not going to recommend it to you guys, but I guess if you really want to check it out, sure, why not? So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next Cinema Sickness review. See ya.